Hello and welcome to the latest installment of HFW Industry Insights, where we speak to leading figures across HFW's core sectors about the key issues facing their business and the wider market. Our guest today is Andrew Bowen. Andrew is the Chief Operating Officer for DP World in the UK, and DP World is a global leader in end-to-end supply chain solutions. As COO, Andrew oversees the company's port, logistics park, and infrastructure operations across the whole of the UK. Andrew, welcome. Andrew, to begin with, could you tell us a bit about DP World's North Europe business and how it fits within the group's global logistics network?
Yeah, so DP World and I work here at DP World UK, so I'm responsible for the operation of the two terminals we have in the UK, which is obviously London Gateway and Southampton. But obviously that forms part of an overall structure across Europe. We have key important terminals in Northern Europe, such as in Rotterdam and Antwerp as well. In the global logistics industry, it's important that ports, people such as suppliers such as DP World, have a strong foothold in key markets in Northern Europe, and obviously the UK is part of that.
So the London Gateway that you've described, I think recently set a new volume record, surpassing 3 million TEUs, and the company's also announced a £1 billion expansion. Tell us more about the London Gateway specifically and how you see the port evolving over the next decade.
Yeah, so we have two ports in the UK, London Gateway and Southampton, and last year was a fantastic year for the combined throughput of the two terminals. We did over 5 million TEU. Just over 3 million in London Gateway and 2 million in Southampton. London Gateway is one of our most important investments globally. It's quite a big project which we've been operating since 2013, and there's still a lot of expansion to continue. The important aspect in the container industry is you have to continue to make sure this facility is available for the ships which are getting bigger and bigger. And in London Gateway, we have a room and an ability to expand the facility. In Southampton, we're kind of close to our limit of what capacity is, but at Gateway, we still have an ability to continue to expand the facility to be the number one container port in the UK.
So the ports, terminals and logistics sector has had to navigate sustained volatility in trade flows, supply chain disruption, shifting geopolitical dynamics, all of this in recent years. So what lessons have been learned from supply chain shocks, and are these trends reshaping the industry?
Yeah, the last 5-6 years have been quite challenging. You started with COVID, and then obviously there's a few challenges globally at the moment. I think the importance for the supply chain is having resilience. The supply chain is changing year after year for whatever reason. We had COVID, we had the Suez Canal was shut. Now we have some other challenges at the moment. And what you need to have is a supply chain, an end-to-end supply chain, which is able to deal with all of the changes that could occur globally. And DP World has obviously developed that capability. We have obviously our own ports, we have contract logistics, freight forwarding, our own ro-ro facilities, etc. So we have this ability to deliver end-to-end supply chain to deal with whatever challenges exist.
So the logistics world is increasingly shaped, we know, by technology, automation, data and digital platforms. And I think DP World is creating a new, I think what you call empty superstack system at London Gateway. It's been described as a giant vending machine for containers. Tell us a bit more about the project and how important it is for ports to invest in technology to improve efficiency in terminals and landside connections and service to customers.
Yeah, technology in this world we're in, technology is always important. And technology is about helping our workforce, helping efficiency, productivity in the terminal. So at London Gateway, we're building, you call it an empty superstack. We call it as Box Bay. And Box Bay is a fantastic investment, £170 million, which is, as you said, a fantastic big warehouse full of containers. And what this is doing is enabling additional capacity to be carried through the terminal rather than empty containers taking a lot of space within the terminal footprint. We are stacking them in a fully automated warehouse, enabling additional space to increase the capacity of the terminal. But it also gives an ability. One of the challenges sometimes in winter in Europe is the winds, and the empty containers sometimes have sometimes they get blown over, or these are some of the challenges. You have to stop operations for wind. But with Box Bay, the containers are all stored within in the warehouse, meaning we continue to operate in the highest winds and therefore not close the terminal. It's very important we continue to make sure that our land side, which is delivering containers to the haulage community or to the rail community, continues to remain open and operational, even in the strongest winds during winter. But this, and I talk about the Box Bay. DP World is at the forefront of innovation, and Box Bay is that this will be the first fully constructed Box Bay in the globe. I'm sure many will follow, and this is just part of the innovation that DP World do. You have to continue to invest and innovate to be the number one port operator.
So sustainability expectations on ports and logistics providers continue to rise. Decarbonising terminal operations, enabling greener supply chains through rail and intermodal connectivity. So how is DP World navigating increasing compliance demands around ESG reporting, supply chain transparency and due diligence?
Like many companies at DP World, sustainability is at the forefront of our decision making. We continue to work to decarbonise our supply chains for our customers across the UK. We've been very innovative across that in the UK with some fantastic schemes we've started. For example, in Southampton, we have what we call as a modal shift program, where we've subsidised the rail in Southampton, which has therefore led to an increase in proportion of containers going out of the gate by rail from 21% to up nearly 30%. A massive increase in containers on rail, which has obviously taken trucks off the road. We also have a new scheme we've launched, which is a carbon inset program, where we've issued carbon inset credits to customers, cargo owners, rewarding them to help reduce their Scope 3 emissions. And we've also got a couple of other new schemes we're doing at the moment, such as a low carbon truck program. We're providing HVO priced fuel at the price of diesel. So again, to try and encourage the hauliers to start using HVO. And also we're giving some electric trucks as trials to the local haulage community, again, to try and encourage the decarbonisation of the industry. You look at London Gateway, we have berth 4 is just open, we have berth 5 under construction. These are fully electric operation, whether it's the key cranes unloading the ships, the stacking cranes, which are organising the containers in the stack, or the shuttle carriers, which move the containers around the terminal. They're fully electric, first fleet of electric straddle carriers in the world, and again shows our commitment to decarbonisation in not only the port operation, but also outside the gate.
Looking ahead then, Andrew, many businesses are looking again at their logistics strategies in light of the accelerating global change, increasing pressure on supply chain resilience. So in that context, what should importers and exporters and retailers be preparing for over the next 5 years? And how will DP World be positioning itself to maintain resilient supply chains?
I think, as I touched on this earlier, the key thing is a supply chain which is resilient and agile. It's a very trendy word, agile, but you have to be able to adapt quickly to disruption that can occur, in who knows what's happening a month ahead from today. So DP World has positioned itself by adapting a more and creating a flexible and resilient end-to-end supply chain solutions. We have very many options that we can to help the customers deliver containers from there to end. And I think as supply chains become more and more complex, you have to, people such as DP World, we're at the forefront of efficiency, investment. And here in the UK, we're continue to invest a lot of money, such as with Box Bay, the $1 billion expansion of London Gateway. We have 4 brand new key cranes coming into Southampton. All of these are part of making the terminal and the logistics chain more efficient, enable the suppliers and the cargo owners to get their containers quicker, which is obviously important for the overall customers.
Andrew, we're going to move on to some quick-fire questions. You've spent much of your career designing, building and operating ports and logistics infrastructure around the world. Is there any one lesson that experience has taught you that you still rely on day to day as a COO?
Planning. Planning is key. My background is a civil engineer. I've lived all around the world building ports, and I think that the planning and management and organisation is key to successful operation. You have to plan and think ahead, a strategy of how you're going to day to day, what is going on, and make sure it's thought through, the process are thought through. operations in the terminals they change day to day, but the core planning process and management of is very important.
Ports and terminals tend to operate out of the spotlight until, of course, something goes wrong. What do you think the public most underestimates about how complex modern port operations really are?
I think that the public is probably not aware of the challenges you have in terms of when the ships come, the unreliability in terms of the ships arriving and departing, and the complexity of unloading some of these big ships. And that's why port operators such as ourselves, we have the expertise to do that. But everyone probably has no idea how the products end up on the supermarket. They just think it just turns up every day. But they don't understand the complexity of getting, say, bananas from South America into a local supermarket in the UK. It's a very complex supply chain, and that's where people such as DP World have the expertise to make sure it is a very efficient process, and therefore they don't need to know about it.
So you trained up originally as an engineer before you moved into senior operational leadership. What is your engineering background? How does that shape the way you approach decision-making today, Andrew?
I guess my background is probably very analytical, numerical, and methodical. So I've always looking at the numbers, analysing the numbers and assessing them and how we can improve them, and then thinking about the strategy and how we can continue to do, whether it's develop the port, deliver new projects, or improve the operational efficiency of the terminal. It's the strategy and the thinking and documenting that and managing that process. That's a key. Similar to building a brand new port anywhere in the world, you have to have that structure behind it. Otherwise, it won't be successful.
And when you do get time away from the port, what's your preferred way to switch off?
Switch off. It probably doesn't come in the port industry, a 24/7 operation. Christmas day off. But other than that, day to day, you're generally keeping an eye on operation. But I do enjoy a bit of golf, a bit of walking, and even Formula One. I was a good year last year. DP World sponsors McLaren Formula One, and we were very successful. So, but we obviously sponsor golf as well. So a bit of golf, Formula One, and just going walking.
Andrew, thank you very much indeed for your time.
Thank you.